Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my top 3 picks from the drugstore in every category. Plus, I'm also going to give you my #1 overall pick in each category if I had to suggest only one product. Keep in mind, I am 38 years old. I have combination skin. I'm also going to give you the overall prices because if you are familiar with drugstore, you know that Walmart might have something cheaper than, say, Walgreens, CVS, any of those other drugstores. Just keep in mind the prices that I'm going to give you are just an average price that I've found when looking these products up to share them with you. I'm going to start in order of how I apply my makeup. The first category is brow gel, and I do not have these to show you. So what I'm going to do is if I do not have the product, I'll just put it on screen and I'll give you a little bit info about it and why I like the product. I'm going to be completely transparent. Ever since I found the Rare Beauty Brow Gel, I just can't purchase anything else. Every now and then I will purchase something to try it out for YouTube purposes and to share my thoughts about that product with you guys. But nothing drugstore or high-end has ever beaten the Rare Beauty Brow Gel in my opinion. So I just want to go ahead and throw that out there before I start telling you my picks. The first one is the e.l.f. Wow Brow Gel. And the reason I picked this one is because if you have sparse brows, this product can basically be a one and done. So if you are in a hurry and you don't want to spend too much time on your brows, this is something I would suggest because you can use it. It has a little bit of a tint to it. I use neutral brown. It's $5 and I like this product for just on the go, quick, throw something in your brows to make them look a little bit more full. For me, I can't use it alone. I have too sparse of brows for that, but I really do enjoy this product. It's very quick, very easy, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. The next one would be the e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. It's $8. It's a thinner, clear brow gel, and it's good, just not as good as the Rare Beauty. But it's a really good drugstore option if you're looking for like a laminating gel that's clear, dries clear. I didn't experience flaking with it. It's a really good option. Then the last brow gel is the Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue Gel. It's $9. Now this one would be my #1 pick, and especially if you have sparse brows. This one is the closest that I have found to the Rare Beauty. It goes on clear, it dries down, and it gives you that laminated look if you are like me and you want to lay your brow hairs down so that way you can get a really good shape. Mine are completely like two opposite brows, very sparse. So for me, I look for something like that that will lay the brow hairs down in place and I can just go from there and create with a pencil and a pen. So if you like that kind of style, you would love that brow gel. That would be my #1 pick. Moving on to eye primers. The e.l.f. Lock It Down Eye Primer, it's $7. I really did enjoy that one. I haven't repurchased it because I have so many to go through, but I really did enjoy that. It gives just a hint of color to your lids to kind of cancel out the veins. Not a lot, but a little bit, and I really did like it. And then the Milani Eyeshadow Primer, I do have this one. This one is $8, and it says lightweight invisible finish, works on all skin tones. This one's okay. It's just not enough pigment for me. I like something to really cancel out my veins. It has a tint to it when you get it out. And then I'll put it on my hand to show you how it swatches, how it blends out to barely any coverage. It's just very sheer, but it's smoothing. It's very good for people that have aging eyelids. It makes for a very good smooth base, but it's not my absolute favorite. It's just a good option from the drugstore. This one is Wet n Wild Mega Last Eye Primer. This one's $5, and if you are on a budget, that's the one I would tell you to go for. In my opinion, gives the most coverage out of all three, and that's something I really look for. I want to have a fresh, clean canvas to work with my shadows, so I appreciate that. This is just like an honorable mention. The NYX Glitter Primer, it's $6. This is a different style eye primer. This is for glitters or shimmers. So you would put this on the lid underneath of your shimmers or your glitters. You just need a very small amount. Let me show you. Like that small. I use it in just about every look. I didn't use it today. I just wanted to show you. It blends very nicely. I usually kind of like tap it all over the lid until I feel like it's completely blended out. So just do like a tapping method. And then I usually use my finger for my shimmers anyway. And then just tap your shimmers on and it won't budge. This is my number one pick because I can't do without it. But because it's a different style of eye primer, I don't know. I just had to mention it. And if I had to pick one of the other ones, like I said, it would be the Wet n Wild. All right, now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. So I usually, do my brow gel, do my eye primer, and then I'll go ahead and start on my eyeshadow look. The first one that I want to talk about is ColourPop. Now, ColourPop has so many options to choose from. You could be on their website for days, but you can also get it at Ulta and Target. They have 9 pans for $14. They have 12 pans for $18, 16 pans for $24, and 30 pans. Their mega palettes are $35. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, ColourPop is my number one pick. There's so much to choose from. You can get single shadows, shadow sticks. There are just so many options. Let me show you a 9 pan. I just pulled out some for my collection. This is Nude Mood. Actually, this is what I'm wearing today. I was trying to do a very quick look today because I was trying to meet my sister at the mall, and I literally threw this together in minutes. So as you can see, this is what their 9 pans look like. Some of them have mirrors, like the Glowing Coconuts. Some do, some don't. It's almost gone. This is a shade that I use all the time under my brow bone to blend, like right above my transition shade. It just softens everything. I can't go without a shade like this. It's just, I have to have it. So a lot of times, if a palette that I'm using doesn't have a shade like this, I'll pull this one out. So that's why that shade is like almost gone. I used this shade on the inner corner, and I went from like inner corner to about halfway. And then I used this gold very sparingly, like right here. And then I used these 2 shades in my transition and this shade as liner, and to kind of smoke out the liner a little bit. This one and done, wonderful palette, wonderful option. So if you're looking for a nude palette, I definitely recommend that. And then moving on to a 12 pan, I have the 1111, which if you've not seen, you can create very similar eye looks with this palette as the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes. Like I did this on one eye and one eye with the Makeup by Mario, and I couldn't tell the difference. This is a beautiful neutral palette. You've got your beautiful shimmers, and this Total Angel shade, it looks white, but once you blend it on your eye, it's more like, see that, like iridescent? It's like a duochrome, so you can barely see it here. Isn't that cool? I really do love that shade. It's very unique, and you can build it up if you want to and make it more impactful. So see how I blended that out? Put a little bit more. And you can build it up if you want to and make it super reflective. And then they also have a 16 pan, which this one's an old palette, the Truly Madly Deeply. I just wanted to show you the layout. This one's very like Valentine's Day-esque, I could create a pretty Valentine's Day look with that. The only thing I don't love about this is how many pressed glitters there are. Don't get me wrong, I can use that glitter glue and make a pressed glitter look phenomenal, but they're a little harder to work with. So it's something I have to have a lot of time to do, and who has time anymore? And then they're mega palettes. I've got several, but I thought this one is the one I wanted to show you because it's so versatile. This is the Precious Metals palette, and it has everything in here. You could go for like a cool tone smoky eye. You can go for just a nude, beautiful brown. They've got this like mauve row. This is more of like the warm, beautiful copper shades here, and then just gold, everything. I think there's 2 pressed glitters in here, but they're a different formula. These are more of an updated formula. Not Basic is a glitter, but see those chunks of glitter? Don't mind my little heart. That is actually a blood blister, and it looks like I have a black heart tattoo on my finger, but it's a blood blister. Let me show you what this looks like swatched out. You see how there's still some chunks? You have to kind of press those down. A glitter glue will help adhere better, but this is a beautiful formula. I can deal with this press glitter better than I can the other one from the other palette. Next eyeshadow that I would recommend to you is Morphe. Now, Morphe is a little bit harder to find. Like, you can either get it at Ulta, you can order them online. I would say Morphe is really good for beginners. It's very easy to work with, but so is ColourPop. All of the ones I'm going to recommend are very easy to work with. I would say it's just a little bit of, I don't know how to say it, other than ColourPop has a little bit more of a powdery consistency to their shadows. Very easy to blend. I feel like Morphe has more of like a soft satin eyeshadow formula. That's the best way I could describe the difference. Very easy to blend though. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Morphe. I just wanted to kind of give you that reference. This is the Morphe Magic Mirror palette. It's stunning. Look at all, it's just kind of the same thing with Precious Metals from ColourPop. You have all these different rows. You can go for like a gray smoky eye, even a pop of blue shimmer, which I've done a look that's very, very pretty with this. You've got your neutrals, your golds. It's just a really solid palette. I love this one. Let me show you the difference in formula with the shimmers. So here you'll see how it's very smooth. It's like very satiny, metallic. It's a very thin formula, and I think it's really good, again, for people with aging eyes. You see what I mean? It's more of metallic, but still beautiful nonetheless. That's what a Morphe shimmer shadow gives. I really like them. It's just not my overall number one. Morphe offers all kinds of options, okay? When you go on Morphe's website or Ulta, they have what's called Morphe and then Morphe 2. Morphe 2, I saw they had these little 5 pans for $7. I'll put them on screen for you. They looked really pretty. I don't know that formula. I don't know if it's any different than what I just showed you, but they do have that option. They have 9 pans for $15. They have 18 pans for $20. And I actually do have an 18 pan. I could show you the Truth or Bear palette. This one, well, two of the shades are broken. This palette I got kind of by accident because they messed up one of my orders, and I got this and I didn't order it. I messaged them. It was from Ulta, and they were like, just keep it, don't worry about it. But it's going to be hard for me to show you. One of them has completely fallen out, and the other one's falling out as we speak. I just don't want it to spill everywhere, but there you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to go ahead and dump that shade out. There you can see that one fell out, that one fell out. It was just a shipping issue, and I didn't complain because it was a free palette, but the color story is quite beautiful. The 35 pan that I showed you are $30. The next brand I want to talk about with eyeshadow is Moira. Moira is kind of like ColourPop, where they have so much to choose from. They have these 15 pan eyeshadow palettes that range from $16 to $18.50. They look so beautiful. I really want to try one out. I've not tried their eyeshadow palettes, but what I have tried are all of their little single shadows. We'll get into that. Now, you can also get a 9 pan palette for $12 on their website, or a 12 pan palette for $14. So it's very, very affordable. But they have so much more. Let me show you. Here are a couple of the single shadows that I have. I have the Star Show Shadow Pot in the shade Showtime. This is what the packaging looks like. So cute. And it's a lot like a ColourPop Super Shock. It's a lot like that, but just a smidge different. So it's a little bit more loosely packed in here. Look how gorgeous. So pretty. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. Let me show you what it looks like swatched out. And I kind of want to show you the touch of it. When you press in, do you see my fingerprint? It's a little bit moussey almost. That's how I guess I would say it. It's cool to the touch, and it packs a punch. So I have it on both fingers now. Let me show you this with the little bit that I had on my middle finger there. And now with what I have on here, I'll show you this. This is the most gorgeous one and done shimmer shade to put on your eyelid. It's so pretty. Like a rose gold base with a champagne reflect is how I would say that. So pretty. They also have these Diamond Days liquid eyeshadows. I've got Goodness and Eye Contact. So this one is Goodness. I'm going to put it right beside here. Just do a little swatch of it. And this one has a pink base, like a light pink base to it. See that? I'm going to use a clean finger and just blend that out to show you. It's a little bit of a pink base, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's really just pink and gold and silver glitter combined. And it gives that beautiful wet look. If you're looking for that, it's a gorgeous option. And then this one's Eye Contact. It's the same formula, Diamond Days Liquid Shadow, but this one has more glitter to it. Let me show you what I mean. Like way more reflective. So let me swatch this out. See how that it's much more opaque too? It's so pretty. I love these. So I'm telling you guys, Moira is good. I do have one more. This one is the Moira Lucent Cream Shadow in Phoebe. Here's what the packaging looks like. That is Phoebe right here. A pink base with a little bit of gold reflect. Super pretty. They're all gorgeous. Like I said, ColourPop's just my number one. I think their formula is the most user-friendly and they have the most to choose from in my opinion, but any of these that I'm talking about today, I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Moving on to eyeliners. Now, this is a little bit of a cheat, but I still consider this drugstore because you know how Ulta has Ulta Beauty brand? Sephora has Sephora Collection, and I promise you, this is the best eyeliners that I have found from the drugstore period. So, the Sephora Collection retractable waterproof 12-hour eyeliners. They have 18 shades to choose from. Matte Brown is my absolute favorite. It's $14. You twist it up like this, and it's a little bit more of a chunky liner, but I like to use this to kind of smudge and tightline. It works for both just beautifully. And I don't get very much transfer with that one. I think if you have watery eyes, you run the chance of having a little bit of transfer here in the inner corner. I'm using a MAC eyeliner today, and it's still doing it a little bit as the day goes on. So just keep that in mind. You can't really hold that against any eyeliner if you have watery eyes. But that one is really, really good, and that's my number one pick. I'll just go ahead and tell you. The Sephora Collection 12-hour contour pencil eyeliner is $12. They have 21 shades, and Tiramisu is my favorite shade. This was my number one pick until I tried the retractable version. It needs sharpened. This is down to a nub because I use the crap out of this. Like I said, this was my number one for such a long time, but since I've found that retractable version, I use it more than any of them. You'll love both if you try them. I think they are really, really good options. The last one, I thought I still had a little nubbin of that one, but I can't find it. But the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Last Waterproof Pencil Eyeliner, they're around $8. I had the brown shade. I'll put it on screen. I love that one. I just feel like the Sephora retractable lasts a little bit better on me. I will say the L'Oreal Infallible is really good for smudging out your eyeliner. So if you lay it down and then take an angled brush to kind of move it and spread it a little bit, that would be a better formula for that technique. But if you're looking for an overall eyeliner that you can use in the waterline and smudge out, I definitely recommend this Sephora Collection 12-hour retractable waterproof eyeliners. All right, now we're going to move on to primers because usually I'll do my eyeliner and then clean up any fallout and then move on to primer. So that way my primer has time to sink in while I do my mascara. Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. I buy mine from Amazon. This is what it looks like. They do have a hybrid version. I like it as well. I have that one, but I just feel like the original is just perfect. This is on average about $15 on Amazon, and It is very similar to like the Tatcha liquid silk canvas. I honestly like this one better than the Tatcha. Let me tell you, and I'll try to show you on my hand. See these pores? Let me try to put it right there to show you. I'm going to try to cover some of those little pores. This has a grip to it when you're blending it out, but then it's so smooth and silky once it dries down. And it just gives an overall blurred, smooth finish to the skin. I love this so much. I've loved it for years, and I definitely recommend it. It definitely smoothed my skin, like so smooth. The next one is the NYX Angel Veil Primer. Now this one is a little bit harder to find in the drugstore. I have seen it, but I will say it's a little bit harder to find, and it's $17. Like, that's pretty expensive for NYX, for the drugstore, period. So this hand, I don't have any primers on. I want to show you this, the NYX Angel Veil Skin Perfecting Primer. Comes out as like this whipped, moussey texture. There you can see the consistency of it. It's very thick and moussey, but then once you blend it in, it turns into like a creamy feeling, and then it turns into like a silk feeling, you guys. It's phenomenal. It's going to blur and smooth your face so well. Like, look at how blurred my hand is now. Look at that. And that's even better than the Touch and Soul, which I didn't use as much of the Touch and Soul, but that blurred way more, and it mattifies without looking dry. If you have combo oily skin, pop some of this on your cheeks and you'll be good to go. Next up is the Wet n Wild Impossible Silicone-Free Primer. This is around $7. Sometimes you can get it even cheaper, like $5. I purchased this years ago, okay? And I've loved it for a very long time. Then Huda Beauty comes out with like her Glowish and now the Easy Blur, which is a dupe for this. So High End is duping this. I promise you that's what they're trying to accomplish. But this is better. Let me show you. Just like the Huda Beauty, it comes out and it looks like a silicone gel almost. And then once you blend it in, it turns into almost like a water. It feels like you have spread cold water all over your hand. And then once you get it all spread out and it dries down, it feels hydrating and smoothing. Feels like you have just put a layer of silk on your face. So I'm going to try to get this blended in. It does take a little bit of time to blend and dry down. You don't need very much of it. It goes a long way. See how smooth that is now? Blurred. And then this is the NYX side. Very good primers. Like I mentioned in the intro, I am definitely looking for stuff for combo oily skin and texture and pores. So these are all going to be catered to that. An honorable mention that would be my #1 pick if it wasn't being discontinued. Let me tell you a story. This is the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. This has been out for years. I found out about it a few years ago, and it is a dupe for the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer. It's very, very similar to that. However, this one's a little bit more creamy in consistency. It's a little bit softer and easier to blend, but does the same exact thing, okay? This became an instant favorite. Like, this was all I was using for years. Like, I'm talking years. This is all I used. I didn't even bother trying other primers, okay? And then they discontinued it and I couldn't find it anywhere. I went on Amazon and purchased like a 3-pack of them for an insane amount of money. I don't even remember, but it was a lot. And I was like, I gotta have backups. I can't go without this. So I bought 3 backups of this. I still have 2 of these, and I have one open that's almost gone. However, after I did that, fast forward a couple months, I saw some people on YouTube talking about this product, and it came back. I was at Walmart and saw it. I was at CVS, Walgreens, everywhere I went, I would see this. And I was like, okay, well, they're not discontinuing it. Well, to film this video, I went online to screenshot and give you all some details to put on screen. And this is being discontinued via the L'Oreal website. I was on the L'Oreal website looking at this to see if I could find it, and it says product being discontinued. My mind is just blown with that. I don't know what the deal is. If they keep messing with my emotions, I'm gonna have to write them a letter. If I could, I would put that as my number one, but since I can't, I would probably tell you it's hard. I like them all. I really do. But as far as what I need, as far as smoothing my skin, oil control, I would probably pick the NYX Angel Veil as my number one. I hate to say that because it's the most expensive one, but it really is just up to you. If you only have $5 or $7 to spend, get the Wet n Wild Impossible. You won't be disappointed, I promise. If you can find the L'Oreal, try it and then buy me one too and send it to me. Okay, thanks. All right, so let's move on to mascara. This category, I'm going to kind of run through it quickly because I don't have any of them with me. The Maybelline Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara, but specifically the waterproof version. I bought this to use on a client for her wedding day, and it was phenomenal. It held up through all the tears. I really enjoy the formula. I enjoy the wand on this. They have 11 shades to choose from, and it's $10. All mascaras these days are around the $10 mark at the drugstore or even higher. That one is such a good formula. Anyone would love it. It's good for volume, length, everything. The Maybelline The Falsies Surreal Extensions Mascara, it's also around $10 and they have 4 shades to choose from. I used to use that one religiously. This is kind of the category that's the same as with my brow gel. Ever since I found the Fenty Beauty Hella Thick Mascara, I just stick to it. Like, I will try other mascaras, don't get me wrong. But all of these from the drugstore, I've already tried and I know I love them. I just love the Fenty that much more. But if I was in a pinch and I needed to buy a mascara from the drugstore, I would definitely recommend either of those from Maybelline. Maybelline does mascara right. The next one is the Essence Lash Without Limits. It's kind of a newer one in their line. Like, I used to love the Essence Lash Princess, the green, the purple, the blue tube, any of them, I love them. But then I found that they started to kind of flake at the end of the day. They didn't really smudge on me, but I would get these little flakes and nobody likes that. So I ended up switching from that and trying the Lash Without Limits. It's $5 and it's a really good option. So they do offer a brown and a black. They have 2 different shades of that one. The Lash Sensational Sky High is my favorite. Now, they do have this new one. I'm going to put it on screen for you. I want to try it. It looks really, really good. And it's supposed to be like you can build it up as much as you want and it'll never look clumpy. So we're going to have to try that one out. The next category is brow pencil. The NYX Micro Brow Pencil, they're $10. There's 12 shades to choose from. Ash Brown is my shade in all of the NYX brow products. It's like perfection for me. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. It goes really well with my low lights. And if you don't know this about me, I'm a natural blonde, but I've always had darker brows and I've always had darker roots. Like, even as a little kid, if I can find a picture, I'll put it on screen for you. Super embarrassing photo, I'm sure. But for reference, just so you know, that's what my hair looks like naturally. So I've always had darker brows. And people might assume that, well, if you watch my videos, you'll see they're so sparse now, you can't even really tell how dark they were, but they were. Anyway, Ash Brown is perfection in all NYX products. Now, the pencil itself is very microfine, and it's very similar to the Benefit Precisely My Brow, and it's very similar to like the ABH Brow Wiz. I would just say the NYX is a little bit more dry. It's a more of a drier formula, which is not a bad thing when it comes to a brow pencil, but I just wanted to mention if you're familiar with those other ones, then this one's a little bit drier. The next one is Maybelline Express Brow Ultra Slim Brow Pencil. $9. There's 10 shades, and I used medium brown in this. I don't think medium brown was perfect for me, but I loved the formula. The only thing that I didn't like about it is how quickly I went through it. It's such a micro pencil. It's even smaller than the NYX, and I love that. But I feel like I went through it super quick. It's a little bit more of a creamier formula, but it is a really good option from the drugstore if you like a very microfine tip. Now, the next one is my favorite, and it's new. It's a new favorite, and I've already went through one. That tells you how much I love it. So let me show you. I used this up already. I can't believe it. It is the NYX Blade and Shade Nano Mechanical Brow Pencil, $12. There are 12 shades to choose from, and again, I always use ash brown. So I just bought me a backup because I have fallen in love with this product. It is so, so good. Let me show you what it looks like. The tip is fantastic. The spoolie is really good too. If you've ever used a NYX brow pencil, they have really good durable spoolies. I love them. When you twist it up, you have a very fine, very, very fine blade essentially. The tip, you can use it to create perfect little hair-like strokes. Like I said, my makeup's been on for hours and it's starting to get a little bit funky as my oils come through, but my brows still look pretty good. I love that product. Hands down, my number one from the drugstore.